Responsive web design isn't that new of a concept, but with devices that access the internet becoming smaller, lighter, faster, and more affordable, choosing to design your website responsibly is a smart decision, since you only have one website you have to build, update, and manage. Not to mention with Google's Panda update, the search engine is going to favor responsive sites over others in its listings. Now in this video, I'm going to show you 3 responsive websites that I feel are great examples of responsive web design. Just a reminder that I'm judging these websites purely on how they're designed and not by the content of the websites. Starbucks.com. At the very top of the page in full screen, you can see that the menu has a good amount of white space online with taglines, and then there's also a search bar at the top. You have the slider with rotating images that are off to the side. If we look below, there is extra images kind of in 2 rows with extra products you can buy from Starbucks, new blog posts, and then 5 columns of extra information in the footer. Now looking at Starbucks at the tablet size, you see that the search bar is missing at the top. However, if we scroll down to the bottom, we find that search bar. Let's scroll back to the top and look at the menu. As you can see, we still have the menu, but we lost those taglines. You have your slider, but instead of the images for the slider being to the right, we have it below. Also, the newest blog posts and extra items that Starbucks sells that were side by side are now above and below each other. The footer, still 5 columns, but a little more condensed, but you can still read the links just fine. Now at the smartphone size, you completely lost your menu, but if you click on these green bars, then your menu will pop up along with those tags that you had. Now we're going to go down, and here's your slider, but we now have dots instead of images to change the slider. Now those 2 rows that were those additional items that you can buy from Starbucks are now listed in its each own block, and then you have your blog posts listed below as well. And now also lastly, the footer that was 5 columns are now 5 each of its own rows and blocks. Now let's move on to BarackObama.com. And now whether we agree with Obama's politics or not, he has a really nice responsive page. Now on the home page, we have the main menu, and there are plenty of opportunities to opt in everywhere. Donate, volunteer, any way to get involved. Now this is very, very important for a political website because this is, during a campaign, this is something that they need more than anything else. So being able to opt in for anything at any point in time is a very important and strategic element of this website. Now, again, notice each of these opt-in forms. We'll watch those where they go as we get into the smaller tablet and phone sizes. Now, if you notice right here, these are little stories. Now, each story either it has its own block, and it has a photo that's either flush, right, or centered. And they're just listed one after another. And also lastly, notice this little box right here. I'm scrolling, but this little box that wants me to volunteer, make a call, donate, join the campaign, like on Facebook, that never leaves me. So again, if I need to get involved with this campaign somehow, I am never looking for a place to get involved. I know exactly where to go at all times. Now in tablet size, you don't have that main menu at the top anymore, but what at the top is what is most important, that opt-in form to donate or to get email alerts. Now as we scroll down, notice how that the stories are now listed as headlines only and with the little icon. There isn't your really big photo and some text to draw you in. Now if you notice up here at the top, there are those 3 little lines that we saw in Starbucks. That means that there's some menu. If you click on this, this will take you to your main menu, and it will also take you to the footer. Now there really isn't, I mean, right here's there's a get involved, groups, volunteer, get started, but this is, the menu is where people go and they're usually looking for information. And so you go to that menu and you can see all the information Obama has on his website, and then just scrolling up, or even just down here with the little volunteer area, you're never far from where to donate or get involved. Alright, and now taking a look at the smartphone version, it is very, very similar to the tablet, except that the rows are much more defined and you can scroll very easily vertically, and you really don't have to worry about scrolling horizontally. That menu button is always at the top, so you always know where to go if you're looking for something specific. The last example I'm going to show you today is Sony.com. Looking at Sony's full website, we see the navigation menu, but take note of these social media buttons right here at the very top hand corner. We'll come back to those in a minute. Then you have your featured article, and then you also have more stories with 3 separate tabs down below. And you have images listed horizontally of other products and media you can buy from the Sony store, and then 2 columns of tweets and blogs about Sony, and then the footer, the additional information, is listed in 1 row at the very bottom. Looking at the tablet size, first thing we see is that the links associated with the Shop the Sony store, they were off to the right hand side, but now they're listed below. But nothing else really changes on the tablet size because this is already a very vertically designed site. Let's see if we can go ahead and take this down to a smartphone size. Now, the very first thing that you notice is that right here, the menu and the social media buttons switch places. Now, I absolutely love this design because the social media buttons, you can make them small and you can easily tap on them, but you know exactly what they are. Then if you are looking for something specific, you can click on the menu and then go to electronics, movies, music, whatever you want. And now as we scroll down, we notice that the things that were listed in rows, like right here, this is 1 long row. Now it's 2 rows with 2 columns, and then each, there was the news stories, the tweets, they're now listed above and below each other, and then the footer is now a column instead of 1 row. Now, if you like this video, definitely check us out at our blog at responsivewebdesignblog.com, and on there you can sign up for our email list as well, and you'll get the best information and videos we have sent to you every week. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/responsivesites. Thanks for watching.